Hi, this is Ron Holle. I'm going to be talking about a mass casualty event due to lightning at Mongoyo School in Uganda. The authors are Richard Chimurari, who's on the executive committee of ICLP-SIPDA, Marianne Cooper, who's managing director, and myself, who is also on the executive committee. A mass casualty event in the medical world is known as an event that overwhelms the local healthcare system, where the number of casualties vastly exceeds the local resources and capabilities in a short period of time. And unfortunately, this Mongoyo event does qualify. So what happened there? First of all, this school is in the northwestern corner of Uganda. Uganda is in the southeast, east central part of Africa. Mongoyo is up near the border of South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of the Congo in the Yumba district. So there are 3 children that were killed, 2 boys and 1 girl, ages 7 to 8, and over 70 were taken to the hospital. This happened in the morning of October 3rd, 2018. This school has about 900 students between grades 1 and 7, what's called primary 1 to 7 in Uganda. There were 3 investigations made on site. The first one was in October 2018, first investigation for property damage. See what happened. There's no damage was found. The second investigation was made in November 2019. Now you see that's a year later, and this involved a review that involved the National Commission of Science and Technology to make sure that it was done properly. That informed consent was obtained to interview the parents of survivors, and there were a 4-person team was there in November 2019, included 2 nurses. The team was trained on a data collection tool that was built on this paper listed down below here from South Africa. Unfortunately, a large group of children struck by lightning. And then a 3rd visit was made in February 2020 to confirm and clarify some details from the November one a few weeks earlier. Uganda schools have a lot of buildings, typically a large number of them somewhat separated. This is the Mongoyo school, many 1-story buildings. And in this case, the school starts at 8 a.m. Students come in, they sweep and clean the inside and outside, and they play and they prepare for the school day as they arrive from the village and the community around it. At Mongoyo on the 3rd of October in 2018, this is the outline of the blocks, as they call them, A, B, C, D, E. And the reports that we had were that it was cloudy at 7 o'clock, some light rain started at 7:10, and some children moved inside. And 7:15, this is what the witnesses reported, the lightning hit outside of blocks E and F. We'll talk about that in a moment. So we went to the Global Lightning Dataset GLD 360 network that Vicelabs operates, and we did not detect lightning at 7:15 or so. There was more distant lightning more at 7:30, so that I think that shows there was some imprecision on the part of the witnesses. There simply was no lightning detected. So this is a map within 5 kilometers. The school was in the middle. Within 5 kilometers of the school, first lightning was actually detected close by at 7:43. Later on, the last one within 5 kilometers was an hour later. There were 70 detections. Many of them are negatives, some of them are positives, and some of them are also clouds. So we don't really know what they heard or what it was exactly the situation in terms of thunder hearing overhead. So it's quite typical that what people remember is not really quite what happened, but this was a good start. So this was an active storm, and it was 7 or 8 in the morning, which is really an unfortunate time to have something like this happening when the children are gathering. So the most injured schools were in classrooms and in the courtyard of these blocks over here. So the overview of the interviews shows that 25 of the survivors felt the shock, 48 were shocked by the light or sound or knocked down. And of the witnesses that were interviewed in these later events where people traveled there, those 2 of them were at the time of the strike. 3 of them were near the school when it happened. So 55 students were interviewed, 33 boys, 20 girls, and 20 of these students are no longer attending. We'll talk about that in a moment, but 4 of them were interviewed anyway. So this was a large task. So some of the things that were said were all of the dead were inside classrooms. More than 70 were taken to the hospital, 24 stayed for 1 day and 10 for 2 days. And they described being knocked to the ground with all these coronal paralysis, where you can't move, weakness, confusion, amnesia, and so on. 15 had burns. 20 have not returned to school. Some of them are disabled. And also they say that the school is cursed. Ongoing problems with hearing, vision, neurocognitive, post-traumatic stress syndrome, and phobia. This is a major event. But these are somewhat consistent with past studies. There was no physical damage to the school, but the deaths were inside the classrooms. So was it ground current with or without upward leaders? There was chaos at the time of the incident. There were conflicting stories. The witnesses and teachers and interviewers were not really experienced with lightning injuries. This is the first time this has been done in Uganda. Some lessons that were learned is that interviewers need more training, and these are stressful events that actually some of the interviewers took breaks because they couldn't continue. I want to check these results before you leave the interviewer. Can you tell me again exactly what happened and who did what? And you might catch errors or misconceptions. And every time you do this, you learn how to do it better. Don't like to do them, but you have to. And one of the messages is that it's better if you can do this sooner rather than later. So in conclusion, there is no lightning safety without lightning protection, and all schools need to be lightning safe in Uganda. Virtually none of them are. So there is another paper about the ACLE-net progress report, which I presented also at this conference. Thank you for your attention.